Okay, welcome everyone to another edition of the Herron Talks podcast. Everybody here. Benita's here. She's not traveling today or not. I think you already had your closing for the day, so she's already knocked that out. Very productive, Bonita. Bonita. Did I say it? Marcella, you keeping up track of that? How I'm pronouncing that?
I was about to give you side eye.
Yeah. Well, so those of you who have not seen any of those previous broadcasts where we kind of had some controversy, Bonita decided to let everyone know that I, for 2 years, have not been saying her name correctly.
Ooh, for 2 years.
Well, let her tell it.
Really
right?
longer, 2 years on the podcast.
2 years on the podcast, but in life, I guess. So she's saying as long as I've known her like 7 years. So I guess she's claiming that I've not said her name correctly in 7 years.
Al. That's bad.
Well, no, but Johnny, it's not really that because I don't pronounce it incorrectly.
Oh,
Okay.
She's hearing it incorrectly, right? And so
I get that.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird because as I've gone back, I've tried to audit it myself to go back and listen to a few, and I was saying it right.
Sounds good to you, huh?
It was.
I guess that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, but anyway, Bonita is here today, and we have a special guest. So today we talked about this previously. We said we wanted to, on the podcast this go round, we wanted to continue to have some of our real estate friends on, and that's what we have today. But we wanted to talk more in the realm of helping people be the better version of themselves and kind of some self-help and just things in general. There are lots of topics you want to hear about other than just real estate or real estate sales. And so I've always been one who believed that if you have the gift of salesmanship, if you're able to, the person who can sell just about anything has the ability to move into real estate and do really well. And I guess that salesmanship goes for almost anything. Even things that we probably don't want people selling, and some of those skills translate too. And so, but one of our favorite agents at Monument Realty, everybody loves him. Always a smile on his face, always in a good mood. I don't know that I've ever seen him in a mood outside of being just this happy guy who if he's having a bad day, you don't know it, right? And that's just kind of his demeanor. And there's something about that that makes people gravitate towards people who have that kind of disposition. And usually those with that disposition do really well in sales. And our guest today, Johnie Palmer, is doing just that. He was just celebrated the other night as one of our top producers, closed nearly $7 million in real estate last year in 2024. And actually had some high-profile clients in there too. We won't make him have to divulge all of his A-listers, but he's got some high-profile clients too. And part of it is that personality of his, right? But what I wanted to have him on about is there's a difference when people who have the ability to be a thermostat versus a thermometer, they seem to do better in life. Even when things aren't necessarily going well, the thermostat always believes that they have the ability to adjust the temperature, right, and change the environment. And those people they're very resilient. Things work out for them. And not even knowing Johnny's story, that's the vibe I got from him. And then once I learned the story, I was like, dude, we got to have you on the podcast to share some of that because, we've had some wild stories. Everybody, we talk about our girl Rachel Pratt. Mm-hmm. We got to hang out with the other night. Rachel we should have had her here for this today because she probably would have had some valuable input. But we've had all kind of stories and stuff told on this podcast, and so I wanted yours to be added to the number because yours is one of those things, man. It's that's what we're gonna talk about. But So, Johnie, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Johnie Palmer to the program.
It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
Those of you, if you follow Johnny's Instagram, or it's on where are you?
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
You're not on TikTok?
TikTok too.
I'm about to say, you better be putting it on TikTok.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm definitely on TikTok too.
Yeah, so those of you who do follow, you already know this about Johnie, but Johnie will, he's not afraid to bust a rap about real estate or a song about real estate, and for whatever reason, he somehow will always shoehorn in a harmonica solo. So even if the harmonica doesn't fit in there anywhere, he's gonna get that harmonica in, and he's usually doing these impromptu concerts in his car. It is one of the wildest things that you will see, but it's thoroughly entertaining, and he's got a following because of that, and it's really cool. So make sure, Johnie, where can they find you on Instagram? What is Johnnie_the_realtor, my Palmer Premier Group. That's on IG as well, and then Johnie Palmer on Facebook, TikTok, Mr. Sell Your Home, #8. Mr. Sell Your Home, #8. Mr. Sell Your Home. Okay.
Yeah. That's my other name,
Okay, Mr. Sell Your Home. All right. Okay, I like that. Okay, but you had to put that 8 on it because somebody else was Mr. Sell Your Home too.
You know what? I don't know what imposter. I've been this for years.
Well, but you number 8. But you 8.
You got
that's my favorite number. So.
So you put the 8 on.
Yeah, I was wondering what the 8 was.
Yeah, that's my favorite number.
Your favorite number is 8. Okay,
yes.
All right. Well, Johnie, so you're doing great in real estate, right? And you've been doing this off and on for about 17 years, you said, which is amazing.
I won't say off and on. When I got on, I was on.
Okay.
I just started out a little slower in the beginning.
Because you had some other things you were working on, other projects you were working on.
That's what we're going to call them.
Johnie had other projects he was a part of.
Yeah. I need to get in the know. You have more of a backstory. I don't know.
No, we're going to get the backstory. We're getting the backstory. That's why.
You're going to get the tea?
Yeah.
I need the tea.
The transformation is pretty amazing. Right. The transformation is pretty amazing. And so Johnie grew up here in Dallas, Oak Cliff specifically.
Yes.
And kind of tell us about that, Johnie. Growing up in Oak Cliff, what that was like, and I know you went to elementary school, middle school, even high school in the Cliff.
I started out in elementary. I went to St. Anthony, and that's in South Dallas.
Okay.
So from 1st through 5th grade, I was in a private school in South Dallas because my grandma stayed out there, and I had family that stayed in South Dallas. So Mom used to take us out there all the time.
Now, and here's how we know that you're a Dallasite and an Oak Cliff person, because you made the distinction between South Dallas and Oak Cliff.
Absolutely. So we are different.
Very good. So and
not in a bad way.
That's right. It's not disparaging of one or the other.
No.
It's just they are two distinctly different places, just like Pleasant Grove is not South Dallas or Oak Cliff.
Absolutely.
They're and I can't tell you how many real estate agents over the years have gotten in trouble by just lumping it all together.
Yes.
If you
it's
want
all
to
South.
It's all South Dallas.
No.
Listen, you will get yourself told something.
Yes, you will.
By
very
calling,
fast.
Yeah. And I've had to help some people out. I had to pull them out the ditch. I was like, hey, dude, you might want to get that changed. You got your wording is going to get you in some trouble.
You got to make sure you separate those. Now, you can't put it all in one category, for sure.
Absolutely. So you're in South Dallas in the through, you said 3rd grade? What was it?
Fifth grade.
5th grade, okay.
5th grade.
And then moved to Oak Cliff.
Yeah, no.
Oh, well, you were in Oak Cliff.
He lived in Oak Cliff. He just went to school in South Dallas.
Yes.
Gotcha. And so when you came to Oak Cliff, what school were you going to?
First, 6th grade, I went to T.G. Terry.
Okay, T.G. Terry.
7th grade, Hulsey. And then 8th grade, Atwell.
Okay, so you upgraded. You went from Hulsey to Atwell.
Okay.
Don't get me. I have friends that went to Hulsey. But, honestly, I did kind of look at it a little bit like that. We didn't have any windows in Hulsey.
That's right. Hulsey didn't have
windows.
I need to get somewhere with some windows.
So listen to this.
That's why I wanted to know what's the upgrade because I'm not from here.
It's not jail, but it was a
for real, no windows.
It was
like electricity go out. It's black in there.
It was a starter kit. It was a jail starter kit, right? Because that's really what it was. You talk about that education to jail pipeline. Oh, yeah. That's what you had going at Hulsey. No. Now I got friends that went to Hulsey.
I'm not saying anything.
I do believe though.
So why is Atwell superior? Does it have windows?
Well, of course, and the people were better. It was just the makeup.
Okay.
Makeup of the folks, right?
Absolutely.
In fact, a lot of the leaders of the city, the people doing great in business and politics and all that kind of stuff, a lot of them have an Atwell middle school background.
Well, you know what, Al, I'm not gonna sit here and do that. I'm not.
Don't be scared, man. Don't be scared. I mean, I'm telling you,
I have a lot of friends that went everywhere.
Yeah.
So I know people from everywhere that did well.
Can be successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can.
Yeah.
Your story, you
like
define
the thermostat.
Right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. So, I mean, but my Atwell people, I love them. I love my Hulsey people.
Yeah.
You know, if they wanted to do well, they're doing well.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
What about high school?
I went to my freshman year, I went to Bishop Dunn.
Okay.
So my mom tried to get me back in.
They kept trying to get you into that private situation, right?
It didn't work out for me.
Why not?
I got a letter that summer saying you can't come back here, and you're not even allowed on the campus.
Okay.
So it was a little.
Why? I'm gonna keep digging.
Yeah.
I used to get in a little trouble here and there, and I think what did it, like, we had so I played on the soccer team too my freshman year, and we went to a school. We were in their locker room, and we saw like some cameras in the lockers and little things of alcohol at this school in the locker. Yeah, we broke into the lockers, Al, and we took that stuff. And the girls were still playing their game, so we went back to the bus. We're drinking some of the alcohol
before y'all's game.
Yeah, before our game, and we're taking pictures with their digital camera.
Come on now.
I know.
Why y'all taking
and
pictures?
Then, we was
young and dumb. Yeah,
young and dumb. I don't know what we were thinking, and that probably was. I know I was already on the verge before all that because I did used to get in a little trouble. Nothing malicious, but I used to be sometimes a class clown, but then I used to kind of be a little rebellious too, to be honest. So I got that letter saying I couldn't come back, and I was actually happy about that because I wanted to go to Carter anyway.
Well, I'm sure you did.
So, yeah, I did.
I'm sure you did.
They weren't wearing uniforms and every day. So yeah,
right.
It ended up working out for me.
So you ended up going to Carter.
I ended up going to Carter my sophomore year.
Okay.
And that's where I graduated from. So,
So Carter High School, everybody knows Carter.
Yeah.
You know, Carter is known outside of just.
I knew Carter before I moved to Texas.
I'm sure you did.
Most
and why did you know
do.
Carter?
Most people.
The movie. Wait.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's it.
I'm proud about that movie. No, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Friday Night Lights, right? Because Carter was depicted in that.
And then
there's a Carter.
Carter High.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then even later, a friend of mine, actually Joshua Moody, made a movie about Carter, I believe, as well. So yeah, it's that era of Carter, and you're younger than that though, so you weren't in that era. That's actually when I was in school. But yeah, Carter was pretty famous place, and and a lot of stars, athletes came out of there too. So
absolutely,
yeah. So okay, in the Carter High School, that's where you ended up going. You were playing soccer there, but also started playing football.
Yep, I played club soccer all my life too.
Okay,
then I played for high school, and then senior year in high school, decided to play football.
Okay,
senior year.
My senior year in high school, first time ever. Like I was in the locker room. I didn't even know how to put the pads in the pants. I had to ask somebody, "Hey man, how I put these pads in these pants?"
Your senior year.
But I ended up getting a full scholarship.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got the scholarship. You must have been pretty decent. Yeah. So what position did you play?
So my number one position was kicking.
I was gonna say, were you a kicker?
Yeah.
Since you played soccer.
Yeah, and then I played some defensive back as well. So that was really what I wanted to do. But kicking was my number one thing because that's what I did. But that helped me be able to transfer those my soccer skills to football because my footwork was great, things like that. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool that you got a scholarship.
And I went to Alcorn State.
Alcorn in Mississippi?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know Benita's from Mississippi.
Oh, yeah. What part of Mississippi you from, Benita?
I would have never thought you would. I'm from like Jackson area. From
Jackson?
Richmond.
Oh, yeah. Right up the road.
Okay. What made you go to Alcorn?
They gave me that full ride, and then one of my best friends, he was going too, so we kind of went together.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Some time in Alcorn.
Oh yeah,
you spent some time in Alcorn.
She up there visiting people,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a cousin that went there.
You had a cousin that went there. Okay.
Your mom? Didn't you say your mom?
My mom graduated from Alcorn State. My
Okay.
dad went to Alcorn State too, but he graduated from Southern Miss.
Oh, your dad went to okay. Is that how you met?
Yeah,
Okay.
he went to Alcorn State, then went to the military and came back and finished
I
it.
didn't know he was in the military.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we know about Alcorn State. I was born in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So I know,
his whole family got roots in Mississippi. We love Mississippi.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Wow, I thought you was an Oak Cliff kid.
I am.
But you see how everything goes back to Mississippi. I love that.
Everything goes back to
everybody got
Let her
roots.
tell it.
All roots. Everybody got roots in Mississippi. I love it.
That is true. Now
You ate good out there too, didn't you?
I did.
See?
I did. That country food was, even though we were in the middle of the sticks.
Y'all were in the middle of the Alcorn.
I did eat good out there. I can say that for sure.
Yeah, my mother is very proud of her school because my youngest is exploring colleges.
Okay.
And Ole Miss, he got accepted to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is a beautiful campus.
Yeah, I've never been to that campus.
And so, great campus, historic deal. And so my mother, hearing us talk about the campus, of course she's seen Ole Miss before, but said with a straight face to us, my wife and my son, Alcorn is just as beautiful as
Alcorn is probably
they are
more
not,
beautiful.
No.
Oh, okay. It's more beautiful than Ole Miss.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, please.
So that's
Absolutely. Tell your son to go visit Alcorn.
Oh, no.
And see
He will
how
never go back to... No,
yes, he would love it. And then it looked totally different than when I went there. So
okay, I was going there in like the 2000s.
Yeah.
And I don't remember it being such a beautiful campus.
I mean, I'm sure they have done some upgrading.
Maybe so. Maybe they have. 'Cause it's been a minute. It's been like almost 20 years. So maybe they have.
Almost 20 years, they definitely have.
Okay.
Of course they have. Of course
for
they've
sure.
done it.
Did you ever go like to Jackson?
Oh, yeah. You used to hang out in Jackson all the
I'm sure you
time.
did. Yeah.
Oh,
That's where everybody from Alcorn came to party.
Absolutely.
Okay. So did you finish there at Alcorn? How long did you stay at Alcorn?
2 years.
Okay.
The coach and I wasn't the best of friends. But it was a new coach. We got him our sophomore year.
Okay.
He came in and kind of messed our program up for a while.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of people, a few of us. I mean, we were starters and stuff. We got cut, and so I transferred.
Now, what were you playing at Alcorn? Were you a kicker at Alcorn?
Yeah.
You got cut as a kicker at Alcorn?
Yep. And then my thing, honestly, so I was gonna get my breakthrough for my DB was about to hit, and I feel like that kind of messed me up a little bit.
Okay.
Because I worked with the DBs every single day, every day. I mean, all the boys were like, Johnie ready,
Okay.
So it was about time. But I feel like he messed up my football career because I never touched another down of football again. I transferred to Prairie View.
Okay.
I stayed there for a year. I was gonna play for them, but one of my best friends, he got killed.
When you hit the table, because they can hear that pretty good. Marcelo, you hearing his? Yeah, because he's very expressive with his hands.
So when he got killed, one of my best friends got killed probably a few weeks before school was out. We graduated high school together. Like I was literally gonna ride home back to Dallas with him, and he got killed, man. We went to a party. They went back home. They stayed off campus in a house off campus. Some of my Dallas people, and a few days before that, it was a little fight between some Dallas people and Houston people. Like we weren't, like I wasn't involved. My guy that got killed wasn't involved. It was some of our friends though, So I feel like they knew that we used to hang out at that house.
Right.
So we went to a party, we followed him home, and then I made it to my apartment on campus. By the time I couldn't even lay down yet, somebody was beating at my door saying my guy got shot. So what happened was him and one of my friends, they were sitting on the bed just talking, and it was like 3 windows, a window behind them, a window, 2 on the side, and somebody was shooting through all the windows.
Oh, wow.
And my one guy, he didn't get hit because he hit the ground, but my guy that did get hit, it was his first action was to stand up and run, so he got hit like 11 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was my way of. I mean, it was like I can't come back to this school again because it'll be just a lot of mess, you know.
Right.
So that was my one year there, and then I came back to Dallas area, and then I went to UNT for a couple of years, and I didn't finish.
Okay.
You know? So that was, I mean, I've seen a lot of trauma for sure, or you know, in my life from not just him, just other friends that I went to school with that's gotten killed, all kind of things, you know.
So yeah, because I wanted to talk about just kind of knowing some of this backstory too. And like I told you the other day when I was learning some of this stuff, I was like, there's no way on earth if somebody told me that outside of you telling me, I'd have been like, y'all got it mixed up. Y'all was talking about Johnny Palmer was doing all this stuff, because the distinct what you are now is so far from that. And so now, how did you get? Because we're talking about those salesman skills that you picked up, but was it in so what is happening inside? Because we're hearing that you're getting in a little bit of trouble and stuff in school, but what is happening? What is that environment? What is that personality that's starting to develop for you during that period? Because it doesn't sound like one that's going to transfer into being very successful in other stuff.
Right. I mean, look, it started probably my freshman year in college. You know, my freshman year, I got the credit card and got some quick cash off of it, and came back to Dallas and bought a pound of weed. And I freaking got caught my very first time, like going back in Tallulah, Louisiana, and I got caught. I was with my boys. My boy was driving. We got pulled over. They asked to search the place, and nobody in the van. We were in a van. It was about 6 of us. Nobody knew but 2 other guys, so the driver didn't even know. And I went to jail.
Okay, sorry. Well, all right, let's do this. Let's start. So, in your freshman year at Alcorn State, you decide that, hey, I'm gonna make some money.
Yes.
And I'm gonna take this credit card and get a cash advance, get the money off of it, and go buy some weed. I'm gonna go back to Dallas and get it.
Yeah.
And then I guess you're gonna be the big man on campus selling weed at Alcorn State.
I didn't even need to be the big man then. I just wanted to make some extra money.
Okay.
Just be a little bit of the man.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I didn't have the vision of being the big man like that, because I played football, so I didn't want to get caught up, and I didn't.
Just some extra money.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to call and ask my mom for money all the time. You know.
Okay.
That was my thought behind it. You know, I was like, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna pay the credit card off. I'm gonna do this, and then I have some money.
Right.
And it didn't work like that. So I was in that jail for 5 days. Yeah.
In Tallulah?
In Tallulah. You know Tallulah?
I passed through there.
Yeah. So I was in that jail. That was probably the first time I was actually kind of nervous about some stuff, you know.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I was able to get out.
I was gonna say, how did you get out?
Yeah, I was able to get out. My mom had to pay a $2,000 fine, and they knew I played football, so they told me, it won't go on your record. You just better not ever get caught coming through here with anything again. And so they let me off.
Were you the only one, or did they get everybody else?
No, it was just me, because I took the rap.
That's
I would never be the guy that be like, no, I don't know whose it is.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna take my rap if it's on me for sure.
Right.
You know, so that was my first stint, and I mean, 6 months later, I was probably hitting the highway with more.
How much more? Sorry.
probably double digits, about 10. It was me and one of my buddies. We
Okay,
used
so
to come
y'all
back
together.
and forth to get,
Okay.
So after that, so there's no you're not like, you know what,
And you were like, dang, like, I done got set in jail.
Right. I mean, you didn't come out like, man, whoo, I dodged a bullet on that. I'm gonna leave that mess alone.
I said I dodged the bullet, but the thought of leaving that mess alone didn't quite register.
Like you still needed some money?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and you were just like, okay, we just got to do that better next time. We got
like next time I'm not gonna get caught.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna have it, you know, loose in my bag.
So where'd you have it?
Just different. We just had a different.
Under the hood and stuff like.
So 6 months later, you and your boy talking about this, and y'all decided we got this little enterprise we're gonna create. Let's go back and get this stuff, and then I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to give it a business angle, right? We got this little enterprise. We're gonna go, and instead of not just bringing back a pound, I'm bringing 10 pounds back to across state lines to Mississippi.
Yeah.
To my good home state.
Yes, indeed, to your good home state.
And so then you get, and I mean, how do you know this? How do you know this stuff already though? How do you to go do this? You know how to parcel this out? How you gonna distribute and all this stuff? And you know that from what?
Because I was a weed smoker myself. So I mean, before I tried to get the pound, I used to just get like an ounce or a couple of ounces and just make a little money off that, you know, really, so I can smoke for free. Right. But then when I got that money, then I was like, I can make some money, because in Mississippi it goes for a lot more than in Texas.
Okay.
So that was my mentality.
And it goes for a lot more in Mississippi, but just because of scarcity or something?
Yeah,
okay.
That's how it was back then, for sure.
That Texas.
Yeah, and everybody wanted the Texas stuff. When you say you done brought it from Texas, that's...
How'd you know that, Benita? You before he said just that Texas stuff, you went in and said...
It's common sense. It's like people here be like, oh, I got the stuff from California, from straight from Mexico or something. It's just
okay, we might be learning something about Benita too, right?
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Other than how to pronounce her name. Got that Texas stuff. That sounds like that might have been appealing to somebody. Well, I got some of this Texas. Get up on some of this Texas weed. So
I didn't divulge any.
So you show up with this Texas product, and who's your clientele? Is the
like some of the athletes, I didn't really mess with locals.
Okay,
they were locals.
And why not?
They were known to be some jackers and all that kind of stuff. So it was more for like just people on the campus, you know, like my football friends and things like that. So yeah.
And it was, I mean, what kind of money you talking about making? You doing pretty good with that.
I mean, it was cool. It was good money. It wasn't like I was making thousands and thousands like that, you know, especially not then. Right. Then especially with me splitting it with people, you know, stuff like that. So, but it was enough to keep me from having to call my mom every week or something to ask her for money. It was enough for me to go buy me some shoes if I want, you know, all that little stuff.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's how you really got started. So, and by the time, so when does it progress to get, because you got to be kind of known in these streets. So when you get back to
Texas.
to Texas
when I got
from
back
school.
to Texas is when it started getting a little more, because I had a friend that had it. So he would just give me a lot, and I'll get rid of it and give him the money back. Or, you know, that's how I really got turned on. And I did that for a very long time. Like in when I was at UNT, I was doing it. And then that's where it kind of grew, because I was dealing with a girl that used to get stuff from her, and she was like, Johnny, you seem like you are so cool and you are about your business. I have somebody I want you to meet. And she was like, I used to date his brother, and he is big time. And it was a Hispanic guy, and he lived in Mexico, but he was coming to Dallas to visit for one. So I was supposed to meet him then, but I didn't meet him. And he went back and got locked up in Mexico City, but she still was able to connect us. And from that, now that's what took me to another level.
Because he's big time enough that he got locked up in Mexico City, but he was still operating like he was just in his bedroom somewhere.
Absolutely. He was very, very, the stuff that people see on TV is how he was really living. Like those movies where the bosses are free and they kind of can do what they want to do. That's how he was living. Yeah. Like he had phones. I talked to him on a daily, on a regular. Like he could have women. Like I actually went to visit this man in this jail cell. Like,
No, you drove there? You
no,
flew? Okay.
Yeah. So I had been dealing with him for probably about 2 years and never seen him. I just used to always meet up with his people. And
But you talk to him.
Yeah, I talk to him all the time. Like, they used to send me phones that you know, I never. Yeah. So
You're in deep.
yeah, like it was more than just weed. Then you know, when I got connected with him, it was more than just weed that I was selling.
Okay.
So I went out to Mexico City. He greeted us well. He had people come pick us up.
So he was out of jail now.
No, he's in jail.
Oh, but
he's still, but he moving like he.
Yeah. So he was still locked up. So go out. So now we were able to go visit him on that Saturday and Sunday in this jail cell, and.
So they just opened up the jail, let you come in and come.
No, I mean, we still had to go through all the protocol. Like we waited because so this is the biggest jail they said this was the biggest jail in Mexico, over 15,000 inmates. It's a lot of people on this visiting days that was there. So it's thousands of people here. So we probably took 3 hours just to get checked in.
Oh wow.
So we end up walking to where he was at. I mean, it was crazy because we had to walk in the yard where all the inmates are out at. And the guards aren't walking with us at this point. They're like on post. So inmates would run up to you and they'll be like, pesos, pesos. So, and they'll act like they'll walk on the side of you like they're protecting you from all the other inmates just running up on you. Now, mind you, I have not seen another black person since I've been in Mexico City since that Thursday. It's Saturday. Like, I tell people, I usually didn't really be scared of anything, but I'm scared now.
Did you go by yourself?
No, I went with one of my guys that was his guys that I used to hang out with all the time out here. So yeah, but he was a Hispanic guy. So that's who talked to everybody for me. So we get to his cell and he comes out. They're in a building, in a separate little building. It's probably about 9 of them in there. He comes out. He has on a linen suit. He has gaiters on his feet.
So he's not in any of the prison stuff. But everybody else is in regular prison kind of stuff.
Some of them weren't really. I wouldn't call it prison. Like, they weren't in orange jumpsuits. Okay, right. You know what I mean?
They weren't like our prisoners.
Yeah, no, not like ours.
Okay.
And so, I mean, he jewelry. He had cash in his pocket.
Okay.
Probably more than I took on my trip, which was a few thousand, and he had that in his pocket in jail.
In jail.
You know,
he's living good in jail.
No, definitely. Yeah. So we go to his cell. And he had ceramic tile on his floor. It wasn't the concrete, you know. He had king size bed. He got all his shoes. He got Jordans. He got clothes all in here. He has fiberglass up on the bars, so you can't just stick your hand through them. So he had curtains there. Like, he used to have. I used to talk to him. He had women in there all the time. Like, he was really living freely, but just couldn't go outside those walls, you know. I ate better in jail than I did outside of jail because we would place orders and they had somebody fixing our meals for us. Like, he was like, I mean, we're chilling. Yeah.
So you would say, what? So would you like? You say, I want a steak and whatever. They just they
would cook that up for us.
Yeah.
Like, he had liquor in there, so we're drinking all day. We're hanging out drinking. Then he was like, "You want to smoke?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to smoke." He was like, go to that bag and get whatever you want. And same kind of bag that they used to deliver my stuff to me in Texas. And I go over there, it was 5 pounds of weed in this bag. And just pulled out the whole thing and just rolled up all day and smoking. Guards are right outside of his thing. They're not.
You say all day. How long were you there? Like,
for like 8 hours a day. So on Saturday and Sunday, we were able to stay 8 hours.
And you hanging with him for 8 hours? Is this just a visit? Is a business thing? What do y'all do?
Just a visit. He just wanted me to come out there and see how he's living in this jail. You know?
Like, he wanted company. He can't have friends over. You've been talking to him for 2 years. He's like, let's come visit me.
It's about time that I see this man too. I wanted to see. Because in my head, I'm like, this is a Scarface kind of dude.
Right. So you wanted to meet him.
Yeah,
you wanted to see.
Yeah, I did. When I found out that opportunity was available,
you jumped on it. You want to go see?
Yeah, I'll come out there. You know.
Okay, so obviously he liked you. He had you know, y'all were good like that.
Absolutely.
And so did did he have certain designs for you and your career path in this thing? Was he looking at you like, hey, you gonna be the next, is he trying to build you up to be?
I mean, he probably did want me to be even bigger than I was, but I mean, he couldn't dictate that. I dictated how much I wanted to do, because I know at a point in time, it was people probably looking at me crazy, funny, like from cops, from someone telling me running into my friend's dad in a McDonald's one day in Oak Cliff, and he used to be a firefighter chief, and one of my old soccer coaches was a police chief, so he just came up to me one day in McDonald's and he was like, John, I don't know what you are doing out here, but your name is ringing in these streets. All I'm gonna say is you better cut it out. And I was like, oh, is it? So I just found another way to do it.
You found another way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, so okay, let's step back a bit, because I don't know how you doing it. So are you out there just like what we see in the movies, like, hey, you on the corner and somebody come up and y'all just kind of
no, I was never a corner boy.
Okay, so you've advanced past that. That was not your thing.
Never a corner boy.
Okay,
like I've been somebody that had
well, okay,
when we've had
time out, Johnny. Hold on. Listen to. I know. Listen to exactly.
Is this from movies?
No,
I watch a lot of movies. I like Queen of the South.
But,
I like
Okay.
Yeah, but Johnny, I think somebody used to kind of. Somebody has confessed to kind of having a thing for bad boys, and I think they may have kind of dated.
This isn't about me.
Somebody knows that life.
This is not about me.
Outside of movies, right? Yeah. So we're hearing it. They don't realize they letting us all in on that. Yeah. Watching Pow and Queen of the South. That she knowing all that, right?
Yeah,
that you jumped ahead of Corner Boy.
The Wire.
Yeah, I was never that. Like I've been a part of where I've had trap houses.
Oh wow.
So I wasn't the person in there working them.
Right, but that was your
Yeah, like me and my buddy, we would go in on one and we'll have that. And
a businessman. Oh, okay.
Yeah, did that. But then, I was the guy that when I used to meet with I always say essays, but my Hispanic guys, you know what I mean? I
y'all
used to,
are so
most
funny
of the
when
time,
y'all say that out here.
most of the time I would go meet with them and pick up the stuff. But then I got to a point where I used to have people go do it for me and wouldn't keep it at my house and all kind of stuff. But I've definitely been in some situations that were pretty crazy,
Can I ask, while you're running the streets and everything, because I'm guessing you're like in your early 20s at this point?
Yep, 20s.
Are you, I guess you got your own place. So your mom doesn't know anything? And
Man, no. Like
none of your family, do you have like brothers and sisters or anything like that? Like,
yeah.
Nobody knows what you're doing?
No, my brothers did.
Uh-huh.
My mom, she
Moms always know.
No, but she didn't, because
Okay.
when I really came out and started talking about this a few years back, she was like, how did I not know? It kind of made her a little angry, a little, and I'm like, Mom, no, you ain't got to get mad about it. It's over. I didn't want you to know that. You got to understand, like, my dad was a street guy, was a hustler himself, made a lot of money, and my dad killed himself when I was 9 months old. He sold a lot of drugs, and evidently he did some. So I think he was skitzing out on something, and he killed himself in my grandma's house. So it was no way that I wanted my mom to even think that I was doing something. Even though I used to come around my mom flashy. I had gold teeth. I used to wear all the jewelry.
She never asked, like, how you affording,
No, because I did. One thing that I always did was try to keep some type of job. I always did some type of customer service job, something like that. And I did go a little stint where I had about 2 years where I didn't work at all or so, but I did try to keep a little bit of something so that wouldn't, so it wouldn't be too obvious. Right. I was kind of still thinking in a smart way, like if I'm not working, people gonna be like, what is this? Right. Honestly, me having a job one time, I feel like it saved me from getting like God has been on my side a whole lot throughout this thing.
I was gonna go into that too, because one of the things you shared with me is that even while you were doing all this, you made sure on Sundays,
you
were at church.
Absolutely.
And listen,
like I was.
Look, he paying his. Were you paying your tithes too?
Oh yeah. Look. You know the crazy thing is I'm pulling out stacks of money, putting it in the. This was when they was passing around the thing and stuff. Yeah, I'm pulling out stacks, putting money in there. Like
not the stacks in the offering plate.
Well, but he was giving back his. He had to give back.
Look, the church did not care how it came.
Oh no.
You know, and God didn't care how it came.
Well,
I mean, no, I'm not saying that. No, let me not say that. I mean, well, the church didn't care how if they was getting cash or a check. Let's say that. You know what I mean? But
money is money.
I definitely.
So, but tell me about that though. What was it about? Because I think this is going to be key to how you even got to where you were able to break from that and you became this whole nother person. Because one of the things you even told me, and even people who know you from back then who see you now, you're kind of unrecognizable. They remember you being this hard-faced, not ever smiling, just kind of, you know, I guess kind of borderline, kind of mean dude out here. Even though you were joke with your friends and all that stuff, but your persona out there was like, this dude ain't somebody to be trifled with, right?
Like outside, when I'm going to clubs, when I'm doing my working, I would call it, you know, it wasn't that friendly, you know, not with strangers and not with other people like that. You had to be really my friends for me to be jokey with you all the time. And because I did grow up being a little class clown. Right. You know, but then when I got in that life, it's like, oh, you got to be serious, you know? And I never even knew how hard that I guess I looked until people used to, I used to be out and people used to come up to me and be like, hey, it's not that bad. Lighten up, smile a little bit. You know, I'm not knowing that that was just the look that I was used to having in the atmosphere that I used to be in all the time, you know? Right. So I didn't know it, you know? So a lot of people say, dang, when I show somebody a picture of what I used to look like, they're like, it's no way this is you, John.
Well, just like when you showed me the pictures, right? And Johnny also showed me pictures of him, and you know, we won't share it on the podcast because I don't. Well, we'll let you see it. Where he even showed a picture of when you were visiting your boy in prison.
Is he still there? Is he still in prison? Do you know?
No. So he ended up, and this is what made me kind of started backing away, because he ended up getting transferred from Mexico to the U.S. for some stuff in the U.S. And his freedom wasn't the same as in Mexico. He still had a phone, but it wasn't like he could talk on it whenever anymore, certain thing. And then some of the people that I used to meet up with started getting caught up. So that's what kind of really made me start, you know, kind of backing up from him. And had to find another connect. You know?
I thought he was about to say he was done.
No, he wasn't done. Yeah, he was like, let me just find somebody else because it's getting hot over here.
But it wasn't on the level of that because I was dealing with a lot of different little drugs at that time, selling a lot of different kind of drugs, and used to get it by a lot, you know. So I slowed that down and just went to back to just weed. Okay, you know. But yeah, it was a transition that had to happen.
Okay, so let's go back to there's something in you though that still makes you grew up in church. You know what I mean? You went to Eastgate Baptist Church. For those of you in Oak Cliff, y'all know that's old school. That's old school church.
Yes, indeed.
like you know, everything is old school. Right? School. And then you went to Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship.
Yes.
Yeah. I know some people right now like clutching their pearls. But yes, this man was in your presence at Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, but he was there trying to get to. But before Oak Cliff Bible ain't gonna take. They weren't gonna take that step.
Oak Cliff Bible wasn't. That was more still in my younger days.
Okay.
Like going to the youth groups and things like that. So,
because I was gonna say, that didn't sound like you would be able to just sit up in there with your linen suit on and gold teeth.
No, IBOT is what welcomed me as I am.
No comment.
Listen,
No, don't do that.
I
Listen,
don't know
don't,
anything about Dallas Trip.
no, and don't even don't even trip because
Heard
now
things.
there's no nobody rides harder for they church than those Albakians. So
will say that
I don't
from
want you to
people I
feel
know.
like I'm not. There's no commentary from me on that one way or the other. Y'all love it, right?
Absolutely.
And the
What's
fact
the pastor name?
Ricky
Rich?
Rush.
Oh.
Pastor Ricky Rush.
That man there really changed my life. He let me know that he don't judge you. Like we used to, I started going to IBOC because one of my buddies was going and he was thugged out like I was. And he used to always say he going to church today. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna come with you. And from that day on, we never really missed a Sunday. And Pastor Rush, he welcomed us like we were, like he didn't look at us like we were some thugs. Like we used to sit on the front row, and he used to use us as examples. Like, come up here and help me with it, stuff like that. And it just made me feel very comfortable. It's like, man, I haven't been going to church thinking that people gonna judge me. Oh, do I need to get my life right now? No. I'm going in the midst of all this stuff, in the midst of my storms, and he's going to work on me. You can't do it by yourself.
And listen, and that's always been one of the calling cards of IBOC. In fact, that's one of the most commendable things that I would always, what I always recognized about IBOC, because I knew a lot of the guys who went there, some guys right out of prison, and all this stuff, and they went there and their lives really transformed because they were in an environment where they felt like, I'm not being judged, I'm being welcomed and encouraged to be different,
to be
right?
different and to come on and come.
That's good.
Right.
So that,
Come as you are.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And
absolutely.
so, and ultimately, I think by being there, and Ricky Rush in that environment, getting closer to the Lord, even though you were still out there wilding out, that relationship with God now is probably protecting. Well, you know it was protecting you because tell us what about this? How many times were you really supposed to get pulled over and probably taken to jail?
I mean, I've got pulled over where I had some pounds in the trunk of my car, and I thought it was over. I was literally in Addison. So, you know, those Addison cops don't
Addison,
play. Yeah, and two of them pulled up on me.
Yeah, so you had the double ride pull up when two cops, which means you going somewhere.
Absolutely.
You going to jail. They mean, you get two vehicles roll up. Yeah.
Because I was in my boy's car and not knowing it because I asked him, hey, everything good on your car, all the tags? And he told me, yeah. They told me they pulled me over because there was a ticket on his car. So as they're at their car, I got him on speakerphone like, what did you just get me into? I'm about to go to jail. You know, I'm angry. And then they come back and they were like, whoever car this is, you need to go take it to them right now and don't drive it anymore until they get these tickets right. And they let me go. And I was like, oh, wow. I've had a time where I had a job where I left my house for the day to go to my job, came back, my door was kicked in and it was a note from the cop, like a search warrant from the cops. And they found stuff in my house. They did. And luckily I took something that was very, very
that would have connected you to everything.
No, it would have gave me a charge that was way more than weed. Like they found like 10 at that time they found like 10 pounds of weed in my house. And so I called my guy. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? These cops know now, you know. And I don't know how. He was like, go get an attorney and have him look to see if they got a warrant.
Your Mexico guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, go get an attorney and see, you know, so he can be running stuff to see if it's a warrant out for you. And no warrant ever popped up. I never got any kind of trouble from that. What I did do, they kicked like they had a little town meeting or whatever in my apartment, and they found out somebody saw the cops kicking in my door or whatever, so they told them. So I did get evicted out.
Oh, I would imagine so. I would imagine you probably, they were like, hey, homeboy, yeah.
But that's better than, going,
But they never, ever, that never came back up or nothing. I feel like it was some dirty cops, honestly.
Yeah, I'm about to say those cops kept them.
Yeah, I feel like because no one signed the search warrant too, so I feel like it was some dirty cops, and I kind of know why.
Okay.
But yeah, but yeah. So that's another time. Look, I've had guns pulled on me. I've actually had somebody was sitting in my car, and I gave this guy something, and I was looking out the window. It's broad daylight, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I turned around. He was like, "This one on the house, so and so, so and so," and I'm like, "Whoa, hold up!" And then I don't know what clicked in my head. I just started trying to fight him for this gun that he had pointing at me, and he was able to get up and get out. He was like, "You move again, I'm gonna peel you or kill you." You know.
Right. So Benita knew what that was. You talking about? I'm gonna peel you. And you had to say kill you, but she was like, yeah. She was like, oh, yeah. In the case of other people, Benita knew.
I'm so intrigued because I do watch a lot of.
But you would have thought, like, I don't know where my mind went at this time. We were like in a Walgreens parking lot, type of stuff, you know. So now in my head, I'm like, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This dude ain't about to shoot me. So he got out my car with the stuff, and he kind of walked behind it. And next thing you know, I hit reverse. But I missed him.
Oh, you out there wilding.
And that wasn't the end of it. So now he's walking on this sidewalk of this Walgreens going back to wherever he parked, because I didn't even know where he parked.
Okay, but you were like, he not going to win today.
That's what I said. I swear to God, Al, that's what I say. He is not going to get me. I say, because he's not about to shoot me in front of all these people.
Right.
So I was driving in the middle of the parking lot. I just put it in park and jumped out, and he started running. And then so I got out my car, and I'm chasing him, but then he got around the side of the building and pointed the gun at me again and was able to make it to the car that he was in. So now he get in that car, I run up and see that he had a female in the car. And I'm like, she can't know what's going on, you know? So I get back in my car, and now I'm chasing this dude.
Oh my gosh!
Like I'm literally chasing this guy for a very long, probably 15 minutes. I called one of my boys. I'm like, "Yo, hey man."
And first of all, now you chasing him for. It's not about the value of what he jacked you for, because it can't be that much.
No,
it was about the fact that he took this from you. You weren't gonna let this.
Yes, and then this was at a time where I was kind of slowing down a whole lot, so my money wasn't even the greatest at that time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So. It's like I'm not about to lose this right now, you know. So, we're on different streets. We're going through Carrollton on different streets, and now I'm sitting here like he don't really want to shoot me, because if he did, he would have
already shot you.
Yeah, or he would. Like I'm literally like I've pulled up and jumped out my car, and this how the girl was crying so bad. She was like, "Leave us alone." We had a 4-way stop sign with all kind of cars here. They probably like, what is going on right now?
Right.
And she's like, leave us alone. What are you doing? And I'm like, shut up, beep, beep. I'm about to get my stuff back. You know, that's what I tell her. And then the dude, he point the gun at me again, and then I back up. So now we're back chasing. I'm back chasing. This lasted for like 15. I call one of my boys. I say, hey, meet me here, because this dude just jacked. He was like, bro, what are you doing? I said, bro, I'm chasing. He say, leave it alone, bro. It ain't worth it.
Right.
I said, F you, and hung up the phone on him, and still chasing this guy. So now, see, this is going to be the crazy twist in this story, right? So now, I mean, I've jumped out at stoplights and run up on his car, and he ran through the stoplight. I get in my car, running through stoplights, and now we're back. We're back in Carrollton. And now,
where is the police?
Where are the cops? Right.
Somebody had to call 911 by now.
Well, let me tell you where they was at.
Oh, okay.
As I'm driving down this street. We zoomed. The cop was facing this in a turn lane. So we zoomed by him. I kind of slowed down because I saw him a little. But we were going like 60, 65 in like a 40.
Right.
You know, so I'm like, oh my God. So the cop made a U-turn, and now we're in the middle lane. Me and the guys in the middle lane. Now the cop is behind me, and we're driving. So I get in the left lane, and it's a neighborhood coming up.
So does the cop have his lights on now trying to get you? Okay.
No.
But you know he's looped around because he's peeped you, and now you think he's going.
Because he saw we going so fast.
Okay.
So we're coming up on a red light, but it's a neighborhood right here. So I went ahead and turned in that neighborhood. The cop stayed behind the guy.
Gotcha.
And as soon as that light, so I turned around, and I was looking at it. As soon as the light turned green,
hit the
lights on him. Now, mind you, the guy got the drugs. He got the gun. He got this girl over here that's losing her mind, going crying. So he went to jail that night.
Right. And so you felt vindicated.
And I yeah.
You were like, you know what?
I can go in peace now. You know, like, it was crazy. Like it's I've definitely been in some crazy situations. I'm blessed that I've never had to pull a trigger or anything, because I've had to pull my gun on people.
But you have to pull the trigger.
Yeah. And it was because it's not because I was just out here thugging. It was because I thought that these, like back in, especially when I was in Denton, my apartments and stuff have gotten broken into several times. Never while I was there, but they have. So I've gotten so much stuff. I've gotten a whole safe with $20-some thousand taken from my place. I've gotten pounds taken, you know, all kind of stuff. So when I knew that it was somebody that's what they kind of do,
right,
I would go to their place and have them sit on the couch as I go through and searching all their stuff to see. And I've been wrong, but I've probably been wrong or never found it. But it was more of, well, they know not to mess.
Right. Well,
you know,
lesson learned anyway. So.
And if the word might get out to somebody, like, yeah, I better stop messing with you. You know, so I've been in situations like that, and it was crazy. Life has been crazy. I'm blessed to never have gotten another felony. You know, I mean, and like I say, the first thing that was a felony in college,
right?
But it didn't go on my record.
I was gonna say, so that was So
yeah.
you got away that you didn't. That didn't get on your permanent record, I guess.
No.
Right.
So other than that, I've never gotten another felony. Like I've went to jail a few times.
I'm about to say, did you go to jail again at least?
Yeah. I got a good amount of misdemeanors on me.
Okay.
And I was a guy that, is crazy to say this, but I used to always, because I rode with like sacks, because I was smoking and stuff, like I would always hide them enough to where they never found it. I would be in jail with weed on me. I've done that several times. Like that's
so you had to conceal.
God been looking out for me for a very long time.
Because you in jail.
I tell you that I have to where they have taken my belt off, and because I had it around the lining of my boxers or whatever, and my pants dang near fall because my clothes used to be. And they still did. I could smell it coming
That's
up.
That's why I'm like, they didn't smell it.
And they maybe they just thought that it was on my
just
clothes.
on your clothes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, ooh wee. And that happened a lot of times.
he went from a few times.
Yeah, a few times. Yes.
Now, you know, I did ask Johnny. I said, let's make sure that we have passed the statute of limitations on all this.
I have been good a very long time. Can't come for me.
So here's the deal. So I do want to transition because that person
This is so good.
is so opposite of where you are now.
No,
and
absolutely.
While you were doing this, you got your real estate license.
So
tell me about what makes you go get a real estate license in the midst of trying to be Scarface and all that stuff. What made you say, I'm gonna go get my license?
So doing all this stuff, like I had several friends that played for the Cowboys that I hung out with.
Okay.
And one of my buddies, he's still we were just together 2 days ago playing golf, and he's one of my best friends. And I tell him all the time, you saved my life and my freedom. Because he gave me the idea. He was like, bro, you ought to get your real estate license. He had a best friend that did real estate in Houston. He was a broker in Houston. So he was like, he's going to expand the company to Dallas. You should think about getting your real estate license. And I never thought I was going to do any kind of other schooling. I was done with school, let me tell it, but.
Especially when you said schooling. That means, somebody who sounds more ain't going to do any more schooling probably was not going to go back to school.
I was on school out.
There's a pretty high chance that person was not going to further that education.
Absolutely not. So, and you got to understand, like I had my daughter in 2003.
Okay.
So I'm doing all this stuff in the midst of having a kid as well. Like my daughter even tell me, she was like, Dad, I do remember, like, we used to go to the mall. You used to be with, like, 6 of your boys and stuff. Like, and this was when she was little,
Okay. Kids remember.
Man, I was like, oh, shoot, okay. But no, like, so, but when he gave me that idea, it was more like it being a challenge now.
Okay.
You know, because I didn't know how real estate would go. I knew nothing about. I never bought a house. I never even talked real estate with anybody. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I enrolled in school. I wanted to go in person, no online. I needed to be there because I knew my lifestyle. Yeah, I went to Champions, made it through all the classes, and then the hard part came that test for me. Because I was still out doing my thing. I'm partying. I'm coming home 4, 5 in the morning thinking I could lay down for a couple of hours and then get up, skim over some stuff, and then go take a test. So I'm the real definition of never give up because it took me some time to take that test. I passed the state part, no, the national part after the 3rd time. It took me 10 times to pass my real estate.
Wait, they let you take it 10 times?
Yeah.
He took it back in the day.
Don't they make you? Oh,
well, but he had to get all it done within 2 years. I think they had to get it passed within. I think that's the way it used to be.
Oh, so you took it with all the like back to back. You could just keep going.
Every few weeks. So I was going every month, something like that. And
but you weren't studying for it. You just
really
thinking you can go.
Studying. I was just skimming through the book, and then I did the. What's the little class?
Like the study, like the prep class?
Yeah, the prep class. I did the prep class and thinking, okay, I did that. I know it now. They done gave me these tips, but that really wasn't it. The one week I studied, I passed the thing.
Let me actually read this and look at my notes.
I could have saved $540 because it was $60 every time I took this thing. I could have saved $540, but my crazy self thought I could go still party and live my life and pass this test. But I made it, and I'm still standing. That was in 2008 when the market was crazy. I didn't even do a deal my very first year in real estate. I got great training from the company I chose, but I feel like I didn't have anybody to really help me get started with this. I used to think that I was a outcast to these people. I'm like, do they see the thugness in me? At that time I had already cut my hair. I didn't have any kind of braids. I didn't have my gold teeth.
So okay, so you were braids, gold teeth. What was the look?
Yeah.
So you were.
Oh yeah, I used to have braids, gold teeth. Used to wear all the jewelry, earrings in my ears.
And you started your career like that, or did you already?
No. So what got me to going to IBOC is that's when I first took the gold teeth out.
Okay.
And then eventually I cut the braids. So.
So when you said gold teeth, you didn't have like a grill. You had like actual permanent.
No, it was more.
It was a grill.
Yeah, it was. A grill.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a grill, but so it was. It was pretty nice.
It was a nice.
You didn't get it from Big T.
It wasn't a Big T Bazaar special. No, it was.
We had some good little jewelry.
Yeah, of course you did. Y'all making money.
That took good care of. So.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Because this is Marcella came up with this, so we're gonna do a Shannon Sharp. We're gonna just kind of break this into 2 pieces, right?
Okay.
So we're gonna make this part 1, right? And we're gonna come back because the transformation is pretty incredible, and then we got to be able to talk about the real estate career, which is great, and I think it's great probably because of some of that foolishness that we just talked about for the past hour.
No, absolutely.
So we want everybody to like, subscribe, do all what are you supposed to do? Share, do
comment.
all that stuff. Comment. And then next week you'll hear part 2 of this thing, and that is going to be the Johnie that we all know now, right? The Johnie story that takes place now, where he's a successful real estate person, committed to the Lord, good dude, everybody loves him. How did you go from that to this? That is what we'll be talking about in the next episode. Right. But until then, and Johnie, if they scared to reach out to you right now. They scared of Johnie right now. Y'all don't want him part of your real estate transaction, right? You want to hear? You need to hear after the next episode. You'll be like, okay,
fighting for them.
He
takes care of business. It sounds like
absolutely, I do.
he can handle up. But if you looking in one of them rougher neighborhoods, you ain't got nothing to fear. Y'all roll with Johnny. Y'all like, you know what? I know my money is a little short. Get me in a place. Take me where I'm gonna be safe. Yeah. So we will continue that on next week. But man, this has been good. This is I appreciate you being open like this.
No doubt about it. You know what? I love to share my story because so many people to this day tell me how I inspire them. How they ask me, how did you even go from that to this? You know, they look at me as being a great father to my daughter, and it's just it's a beautiful thing. I love it. I never know who my story will touch. Absolutely. You know, and people tell me that all the time. Like even just from me getting people to go to church with me, or they see me posting about church and they like, I want to go to your church. You know, it's the little things like that mean the world to me.
Right.
It's like if I can help somebody be better, I want to do that. And I got people in my life that help me be better as well. Right. So it's a beautiful thing. So I love to share it, and I don't shy away from it at all. Back in my day, I would have shied away from it, but now it's like, hey, I'm open with it.
Right.
So
we love it. We love it, and we'll see you all again next week. So y'all again. Enjoy this one, share it, let everybody know. And also go check out his Instagram page so you can see him playing the harmonica and rapping and all that kind of stuff.
And maybe he'll play it on the next episode.
Maybe we should have made you play us out today.
Oh man, Al,
do you have
let's save it because they gotta watch the next one. So
they gotta watch the next one, and it's gonna be hard for them to process you playing a harmonica and all this stuff after what you just did, what you were just talking about. So
my live performances out now. I don't know. That's gonna cost you.
You'll be ready for next week then. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.